We're getting new information about the attack on the United States consulate in Libya, which took the lives of the United States Ambassador Chris Stevens and 3 other Americans. CNN's Arwa Damon just interviewed the new Libyan Prime Minister. Arwa is joining us now from Tripoli, the capital. Arwa, so what did the Prime Minister tell you?
Well, here's the very latest information, Wolf. He is saying that 8 people have been detained. These individuals were directly affiliated with the attack itself. He said that they are pursuing others, including the leadership. Now, these individuals, according to the Prime Minister, not linked to any one group. The entire group that he believes was behind the attack, made up of around 30 to 50 people, a loose coalition it was described as being, again, not affiliated with any one group. He also said that these were not people who were tied to al-Qaeda, that this was not an attack that was linked to al-Qaeda. It was, however, pre-planned, Wolf.
If the U.S. were to decide, Arwa, to take military action to try to deal with those who killed the Americans, would the Prime Minister support that idea?
At this point in time, most certainly not. It is very well known that there has been an increase in drone activity over suspected sites of these training camps, militant training camps that exist in the east. The U.S. has also moved 2 of its naval warships into the region. The Prime Minister was very clear, though, when he made the point to say, no, there can be no outside interference. This would be viewed as being a foreign attack on Libyan soil and that it would create complete and total chaos. As for what the Libyan government is willing and prepared to do, he says that they will be pursuing the individuals that are responsible for this attack, saying that they fully realize that they have no other option and that they are determined to bring those who carry this out to justice. When it comes to the bigger picture and how the Libyan government has to deal with these various extremist militant groups, that the government initially wants to try to approach politically, because to try to take these groups on, that would create a bloodbath that at this point Libya can really not afford.
Arwa, thanks very much. Arwa Damon reporting for us from Tripoli in Libya. So did the United States do enough to protect its diplomats in Libya? There are harsh accusations being leveled right now, and officials are responding. Our foreign affairs reporter Elise Labott is here. She's working the story for us. CNN has reported Senator John McCain has suggested very bluntly there were warnings about the security of the American diplomats in Benghazi, warnings apparently that weren't heard. What are your sources telling you, Elise?
Well, Wolf, senior State Department officials, top officials really that have been scrubbing all of this and going through a detailed account are saying if there was such a warning, it did not go up the chain of command, if you will, to the top levels of the department where it could have been acted upon. They knew the general threat of extremists in the area. They knew that they had to watch it. They saw some other previous attacks, including the attack on the consulate in June and some other convoys that were attacked, foreign convoys. But they said there was never any specific threat on the embassy, and there was never any discussion about whether they should close the facility because they felt they knew the risks, but they were doing very important work there.
Did Ambassador Stevens have enough security at that consulate in Benghazi, especially coming on the 11th anniversary of 9/11, when there should be heightened security procedures for U.S. installations around the world?
Well, Ambassador Stevens had 2 guards for himself, 2 guards detailed arms shooters, and the consulate itself had 3 guards. So that was 5 guards for about 2 diplomats that were there on the site. And officials say, Wolf, in the months leading up to the week's attack after a failed EED attack on the consulate in June that we just mentioned, State Department took numerous measures to improve security, barbed wires, barriers, cameras at the facility. There were also a safe room. There was a steel door on some of these safe rooms to make sure that the personnel was safe. And also all of these armed guards. So they say, Wolf, that obviously, even though they took all these precautions, they weren't predicting the kind of onslaught that they saw. Some of the other attacks out there, minimal damage. These are the kind of attacks they were warned about because of these other attacks. And the pattern out there, they weren't expecting the kind of onslaught, and it was no match for these security measures. Obviously, they have to re-examine security at all posts.
Elise, thanks very much for that reporting. The story is obviously not going to go away. We're continuing to watch this issue. The Libyan story is taking center stage, by the way, right now up on Capitol Hill. The Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton, and the country's top intelligence officials in a very rare closed-door classified briefing with all, repeat, all members of the United States House and Senate. We're going to go there live right at the top of the hour. Stand by.